All right. I don't know how to do this. Welcome to the channel. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to be playing this game, Stanley Parable. I have really no information about this game besides that I watched someone play it on like a short or something, and I was like, this looks really funny, and I'm going to hate my life after it. So anyway, this is it. This is going to be cool. Yes, please. No spoilage. You can suggest things, but... Oh, hi, baby. Say hello. Oh, that is so sweet of you to say.
This is a story
Oh, my
of a man
God.
named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Can you all hear this? Nope. Can you hear it? Fuck, it restarted. Hold on. Alright.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
God! Try it again. I'm missing the intro.
This is the story of a man
Okay.
named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons.
I want this job.
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, what's in that? Okay. Going out there's scary though. Oh, I can.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer.
I just want to keep hearing him talk,
Now
to be
it's even
honest.
closer. Here it comes.
Y'all didn't tell me this was a scary game.
But Stanley simply couldn't
No!
handle the pressure.
I'm getting out of here.
What if he had to make a decision? What if
Oh
a
my
crucial
God.
outcome fell under his responsibility?
Let me
He
out.
had never been trained for that.
Let me out. You can't keep me in
This
here.
couldn't
Okay,
go
sorry. I gotta
anywhere
come down.
except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come.
Okay, that's good to know,
Eventually,
because you know how
someday,
I am.
they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Are you sure? Oh shit. Chat, I'm on top of the world. Oh, okay, that didn't open. Where the fuck is this meeting room?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Is this where I let my, like, chaotic side come out?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Why do I feel like he's really sure? What the hell?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for
I'm
me,
an independent
I'm
woman.
asking for her.
Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Fuck.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Yeah, why not?
sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their
I
life
thought it was
to
my
you?
mom.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story
Ah,
now.
you fucker. Are you the mannequin?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Oh. That's good that you haven't seen
And
this
so
part.
he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll
What do you
understand
mean,
that every
my
second
office?
he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Why do you want me to die? Oh. Yeah, I'm kind of like picking and
All of his
choosing.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
So
he
I
had
went
simply
through
missed a memo.
that.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Am I killing Stanley? God. Okay, okay. Slides, charts, and slides.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
Work harder. Hard worker. Teenagers. Throw something in the ideal bin. Ooh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
Hi,
why couldn't he
Xtimith.
see
I
his
love
feet
you.
when he
How
looked
are
down?
you?
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for
Oh,
that
this is
matter,
sketch.
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Oh,
No,
wait,
Stanley
what?
said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He
We're in a
wasn't
circle.
crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my
Eating
boring
ice cream?
real-life job.
Did you
pushing
fix your
buttons.
sleep schedule?
I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then
Ooh,
he
we're
imagined
flying.
himself soaring through space on a magical starfield.
This
And
is
it, too,
fun,
appeared.
Jack.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the
Not
voice
tonight,
was
though.
describing itself
I've been waking up
being
earlier,
considered by
too.
Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice
I
describing
don't have
me,
ice cream, but I made
thinking about
brownies
how it's
yesterday.
describing my thoughts,
Somebody
he thought.
brought me like
And
a
while he thought it
bag
all
of
very
brownies
odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams,
to like bake
the
off.
truth was that, of course,
It's not
this
great.
was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
I feel alive, chap.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical
They weren't
stars just
great,
a moment
though.
ago?
They
How else
just,
would
like-
the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in
I'm
control.
in control,
that this
chat.
was a dream.
This is all
So
part
he
of the
closed
plan.
his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air.
Yeah, it was like
of
a
the
brownie
world
that was like
outside
sweetened
his
with honey, which I'm not against like using
Let
other
me
sweetener,
wake up,
but it
he
didn't
thought to himself.
taste
I'm
like
through with
brown.
this
I
dream.
wanted like
I wish it to be over.
brownies.
Let me go back to my job. Let me
It
continue
tasted like
pushing the
health
buttons.
brownies.
Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
You know what I mean?
Everything will be fine.
Alora, how are you, honey? Did I see you?
am okay.
Chat? We back to where it begins, chat.
My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real.
What
I
the
must be
hell is
real. I must be.
happening?
Can anyone hear my voice?
I tapped out. Oh my
And everything went black.
god. Okay. I tapped down to him screaming at me.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Mariella, what the fuck? Jesus.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Did I kill Stanley? Or was he already dead? I really have no clue what is happening.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. I feel a sense of guilt.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What if I have to shit though, chat?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled,
Has anyone been through
Stanley
where they're
wondered in
like,
disbelief who
you need to go through an
orchestrated this,
encyclopedia and know
what
how to
dark
use it?
secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
What? What keypad?
Stanley just, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Yeah, this game... Where's the... What? Oh. This game is weird. What the fuck does this boss have? Oh my lord. Is this a horror game, chat? Is that blood? What the hell?
Descending deeper into the building,
Xmas,
Stanley
how's your
realized
hands
he
going?
felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
What the fuck, dude?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Do we turn around?
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Honestly, sometimes you gotta like face the music. Much about it? Damn. Oh my lord.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh!
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I'm sorry, Xmas.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless,
It will
making
be.
life the same.
So
Do
that
you see
test
now?
was for
Do you see that Stanley was
what was it
already
for
dead
again?
from the moment he hit start?
Okay. This blueprint shows the from the beginning of the game. The path from the up to the two doors for the first part of the game was that was built. Section has been added in order throughout the development. Though the core layout remains. Was it? Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. Oh my god. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This chord has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches two doors in a good time. The office. Okay. Ooh, I like that. Nope. Oh? I like this one a lot. Yeah, carpal tunnel. At least you don't have that, but that's not great. It's not great that you don't have answers. I read that as office stick for a second. There's different boss. Whoa.
Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding. Then he pushed the number 4. Of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the next one.
Okay, interesting. I did not look up this game at all. I was just like, oh, this seems fun. And I'm like, what am I getting into? Okay. Some of this shit we haven't even seen, chat.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
I was like, yeah, I kind of want to be free.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Damn.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now, and it'll be your only true choice.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
6 months? 6 months? Jesus.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
It seemed like I had to for that one.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This didn't open last time. How long is this elevator? A word search can't, like, you would have to, like, change things. How does that work? It does slap. Oh. Unless you stop
Stepping
it.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Thanks, Eddie. Oh, it's the shot. I was like, is that blood?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
What the
What
fuck?
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Hell yeah, I do. I ain't no bitch.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
"104 was fired." Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
We're taking the system down, chat. Yeah, I don't even know how that bracelet would work, but it could be cool.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than
You
that.
only gave me two options.
You don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Hi, Daniel.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Well, everyone's already gone anyway.
Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star.
I'm a
It's
track
your
star.
story now.
Let's
Shape
go.
it to your heart's desires. Oh, this
She's a
is
runner,
much
she's a
better
track
than what I had
star.
in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what
I
you're
don't know
supposed
what
to
I'm
be doing
doing.
right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
Re-enter
These numbered buttons,
passcode.
no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think
Hi,
that, Stanley?
Smeevo.
That this video game can
Daniel,
be
how
beaten?
are you?
One solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
I like this
You're
song.
only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown.
Make that 4 ads.
Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke.
Hi,
And
Shmeevo,
believe
how
me,
are
I will be
you?
laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
I'm doing okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
I'm
Feeling
doing
a wave
okay.
of disbelief,
Trying to get back
Stanley
into streaming,
decided
it's
to go
been
up
tough.
to his boss's office. Hoping he'd coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I wonder if this door opens now. Do you think? I'm just finding all. Oh, this opens. Thanks, Xmas. I'm trying. I've just been having like a lot of anxiety about it. Like I kind of put in my Discord, I was like, I just don't feel like I'm good enough. And yeah.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a
Aw,
sign
thanks,
of hope for
Xmas.
Stanley's future?
It is
Alas,
really
it was
cool to
not.
see people coming back.
For
So I'm like,
although this keypad guarded
no one's
the
gonna come
terrible
by,
secret of Stanley's past,
but I'm just
there
like,
had been assigned
this
a
is for you.
4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the
Thanks,
narrator
Shmeevo.
talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Stop.
Feeling
Jesus.
soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Jesus. I don't know what girl's queen, but I'm just trying to like kind of get on back on track and do stuff. I'm just trying to kind of like come back in some way, you know? But I will say in general though, besides the anxiety for streaming, I'm doing like better, you know? Laura, thank you. It means a lot. Like I'm just like damn, y'all.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
But
Facility.
I'm doing better. Like I'm happier. I'm getting more on like a routine and stuff. Touching grass.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I should make a coffee chat. I really wish I could be playing Pokemon Puzzle League for y'all, man. I fucking love that game right now.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
But yeah, like I said, other than the anxiety, I've been doing like better. I've been working on myself and stuff, and just trying to like be happier
This mind
and
control
stuff.
facility,
It's
it was
just like
too
wow that
horrible
like
to believe it couldn't be true. Had
That's-
Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
yeah, it's just wild that like I've been having a lot of anxiety with streaming, but outside of streaming, I'm like doing happier, I'm doing better and I'm feeling happier than like before. But then when I wasn't happy, I was like happy with streams. So it's just like, I'm like, why can't I have both? So we gonna see. We're gonna see what happens.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Anyway, I hope you had a nice break, everyone. We're gonna get back to this confusing game. I hope you all got to spread your legs. But it makes me stand out. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Do we die? Again?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
He does have like a very like...
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he
You
been
cannot
freed from the
drink
machine's
that.
grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
I'm trying to make
But
coffee.
as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
This isn't an oar.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The
This
feeling
isn't
of
an oar?
liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I'm like, I didn't have any. I completed the game. Wow. I can add that to the list of games that I've beaten. All 5. What the hell? But there wasn't like.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yes. Isn't she so? She learned a new trick. Do you wanna see her new trick she learned? Do you wanna show chat your new trick? Would you like to show them, honey? That's close enough. Okay, can I get? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. There you go. All right, can you show chat your new trick? Can you show him? Can you show me your trick? Good girl, honey. That's her new trick. It's not crazy impressive. Whoa, calm down, woman. She's got fair. All right, uppy, up. And it's kind of like still, you know. Try to open it. So 4:30. Where the hell is that one?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Where the hell is... Oh, it's right here.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Okay, Daddy.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Oh, her favorite toy. She got a new toy today. I've been playing with her a lot, and she... Yes, Daddy.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the
I don't like
cost.
commitments.
Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Yeah. Oh, right here.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so. Now, back to door number 437.
Was that 10 clicks?
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Ooh, he's feeling it, chat. He's warm. He just needed a little bit of foreplay. Just spit on it real quick.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Oh, yeah, climb.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up.
He
Go
likes
give me a
it.
few clicks on door 416.
Chat, he likes it. 416?
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again! Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430!
Alora.
Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think,
I
only a
have
few
no
minutes
clue,
ago, you believed an
Maximus.
achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now? What were
Just
you
another
thinking?
award. Okay. Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, supposedly we've experienced some endings already.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
And we've died a bunch of
Feeling a wave
times.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Can I pick up the bucket? I don't really know how to aim right, to be honest. I've not found anything I can, like, pick up.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We've already, like, done this, so I'm like, what other endings is there for this?
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Isn't this the same? He said a new passageway, but do I see anything? Am I looking with my eyes? Why did I say that? Do I see anything? That's what I'm thinking, because I'm used to playing like Final Fantasy games where it's like you gotta like explore everything besides this dark. But this doesn't look like you go anywhere. That might be a good shout. Oh, you can get on it though. Okay. Ugh. Boring. Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna try it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
We've already done
What
this?
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I'm like, we've already experienced this. Supposedly there's like 19 different endings.
This mind
And we've
control
done, like,
facility,
4?
It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality
like,
of his
explored
past began
everything
to sink
here?
in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yeah, we already did this. The other ways are like just dying again, right?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, Even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay. So we already experienced, we did exactly all that. So I now don't...
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No.
I'm trying to think of like what other
the thing to do
outcome
now, Stanley
we
thought
could
to himself,
have.
is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon,
Oh, really?
very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Yeah, because I just like restarted it. Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess that is this. Oh? Wait.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think I feel like that is all I want to experience. Okay, what did we think of that, chat? That was Stanley Parable. It was not what I expected it to be at all. I kind of expected it to be I expected it to be kind of more like more to do. Yeah, it was kind of like what I probably saw of the game was like the highlight of the game, so I thought there'd be more to it. I think I'm kind of feeling a little lackluster with it, I think. The voiceover was incredible. I kind of wish that there was more involvement, like more, like it pretty much is just you walk through and then you, like, that's it. I'm feeling a little lackluster with like the gameplay and stuff. I also don't feel like we had any like information on like what happened. It was interesting. It is interesting if you want to kind of like have a game that you can kind of just experience different outcomes and stuff. I think can be fun to play, but definitely not my kind of game. I think it gives you something to think about though with like workplace and stuff. I think there is definitely a message to be like to mix things up and to be adventurous and stuff. Don't you know what I mean? I think I definitely like see that. I'm kind of like, I wish there was a little bit more interaction with it. The voiceover was phenomenal. It's very funny. Thought that was great. But definitely feel like that's kind of funny. Yeah. I definitely think there's like some funny things to it, but yeah, definitely not my kind of game. Let me see if there's anything else I'm interested in playing. Non-ending. Yeah, I said I wish there was a little bit more to it, to be honest. I wish yeah, it's one of those like it has a lot of like really good reviews, and people seem to really like it. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I to be honest just feel kind of like disappointed that I played it because I thought it was gonna be a bit more. Like I definitely understand the message or some of the messages that they're kind of like talking about. But I feel like lackluster. It's a game that plays you, is what it says. So on here it says Stanley Parable is a first-person adventure game. When a simple-minded individual named Stanley discovers the coworkers in his office has mysteriously vanished, he sets off to find answers. You play as Stanley, and you will not play as Stanley. You will make choices, and you will have your choices taken from you. The game will end. The game will never end. Contradiction follows contradiction. The rules of how games should work are broken, then broken again. And you're not here to win. And the Stanley Parable is a game that plays you, but I don't know. I feel disappointed in it, to be honest. I think the narration's really good. I think the message is really good. But I feel like as for gameplay, I'm kind of left like okay. You know what I mean? I definitely think the message is really good, and so I think I just wish there was a little bit more to that. You know? That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. What did you all feel? What did you play the game? How did you feel? You seem to have enjoyed it. You enjoyed participating and stuff. Like I definitely enjoyed playing it as I was playing it and like unlocking things. But I think after it, I'm just kind of like, you know? Mm-mm. Oh, are people still playing Lost Ark? Yeah, I'm kind of just left feeling like kind of scratching my head. That's just, yeah, yeah. Wild Trunk years ago. I could see just being like, what the fuck is happening? Um, yeah, I don't know what to do now after that. I'm like, kind of just like, it was cool to like share something with you all. Like I enjoyed that. Steam apparently is suggesting me sexual games. And I'm like, y'all, what is happening? Damn, I'm like, I was so looking forward to it too. And now I'm just like, I was like, I'm gonna be able to play this for a few times. It was like, nope, that's it. I'm like, we've only been streaming for 2.5 hours, and that was the game. It's not making me question my life choices. Interesting. The coward, and yeah, I did do that. So I was like, okay, I want to like experience what's happening, but I just kind of like it feels, yeah. Yeah, I said I wish it was kind of more interactive. I think that would have been cooler. To kind of have more you could do, more interactions. Damn. I'm down for some other game suggestions. I have games to play, but like I also don't have games to play. I'm like kind of going through my list right now and I'm like, yeah, the voice guide, which is nice, like you had someone to kind of guide you, but then I was like, I did that stuff and then it was like, yeah, I also didn't like that, like, once when I had finished the ending, it felt like I had already done the other stuff. I kind of wish that, like, as you were doing things, then opened up, like, another, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, once when I had finished the game, like, how I just did, like, the last one, and it was like, all right, you're free. I wish that when I started over again, there was like another door that lined up. Because he said, like, oh, another door had opened up. We've already been through this. But then it was like, I'm going through the same thing again. And I went through and like looked this up. Maybe I missed something. But I do wish there was like a little bit more like changes, more obvious, you know? I've never played BioShock. Yeah, like give me some more like opened area, like reward me for finish. I felt like I wasn't rewarded, which maybe that's also a point of the game, but I felt like I wasn't rewarded because, like, you know how he was like, work for it, you know, I'm getting excited, let's do this, right? So I went through the whole game with no reward, which maybe that's the point, but I kind of think like for replay value it would have been nice to have more, you know what I mean? But then, like, I played this game, now I'm like, I thought I was going to be playing this the whole stream and not, like, for an hour. So now I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck do I do? Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I'm sorry tonight was kind of a letdown, but I appreciate you all for coming and having that experience with me. We will find other games to play and enjoy. Like I said, I just didn't prepare myself. And I'm slowly getting back into streaming. So baby steps. Baby steps. And this is a big step. And I technically finished a game. So, like, yes. That's cool. That's exciting. yes. We're easing into it. We did almost a 3-hour stream, and we beat a game. So, thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you for all the love and support tonight, and I'll talk to you all later, okay? Bye!